At 71, Ronnie Dunn finally breaks his silence, and what he reveals changes everything people thought they knew about Brooks and Dunn. For decades, Ronnie stayed quiet, hiding the pain behind the spotlight. After giving the world unforgettable songs like Neon Moon, he found himself alone, wondering if anyone still wanted to hear his voice without Kix Brooks by his side. But one night on a brightly lit stage in Indianapolis, something happened that fans will never forget. In the middle of the concert, Ronnie stopped singing, touched his chest, and quietly walked off stage. It wasn't planned, it wasn't staged, it was real. And the truth behind it is more emotional than anyone expected. The show at Gainbridge Fieldhouse had started like any other. More than 20,000 fans were in the arena, screaming, clapping, and singing every word to Boot Scootin' Boogie. Kix Brooks was full of energy on one side of the stage, strumming his guitar and feeding off the crowd. Ronnie Dunn stood at the center, holding the mic with both hands, his voice just as powerful as ever. But then, something changed. His movements slowed down, his eyes looked tired. He wasn't himself. The people in the crowd didn't notice right away, but his bandmates did. There was a small, almost invisible shake of Ronnie's head, the kind of look only musicians who have played together for years would recognize. Matt Malone, a radio host, happened to be recording. His phone captured the moment everything shifted. Ronnie looked over at the band. He didn't say anything. He didn't need to. They understood. Then slowly, Ronnie stepped forward. He walked to the front of the stage, looked out over the crowd, and lifted his arms. Not in celebration, but in something softer, like he was saying goodbye and thank you all at once. He placed his hand on his heart and waved. And then, he walked away. The audience kept singing. Some cheered, still unaware of what had just happened. But backstage, it was chaos. Nobody knew what was wrong. People rushed around trying to understand why Ronnie had walked off stage. The video Matt Malone posted the next day went viral. It was short, just a few seconds long, but it sent shockwaves through the fan base. "Feel better, Ronnie," the caption said, and thousands of fans responded. The comments were full of memories. People talking about how Ronnie's songs helped them through heartbreak, war, and loss. This wasn't just a singer. To many, Ronnie Dunn was part of their lives. Speculation exploded online. Was Ronnie sick? Exhausted? Was this the end of Brooks and Dunn for good? Country forums lit up with worried fans. Ronnie wasn't just a name on a stage. For many, he was family. When the official statement finally came, it was short. A spokesperson said Ronnie wasn't feeling well during the encore. No more details, just enough to calm people down. But fans wanted more. After nearly 40 years of loyalty, they deserved the truth. That truth arrived just days later in Rosemont, Illinois. That night, all eyes were on Ronnie. Would he show up? Could he still perform? The answer was yes. And not only did he appear, he lit up the stage. His voice was strong. His energy was back. It was a full return. Whatever had happened in Indianapolis, it hadn't defeated him. But that haunting moment, Ronnie leaving the stage mid-song, stayed with fans. It was a reminder that even legends have limits, that behind the spotlight is a man with real struggles. Long before the fame, Ronnie was just a boy growing up in Coleman, Texas. His life was filled with church, family, and small-town traditions. Everyone expected him to become a preacher. He even went to Hardin-Simmons University to study ministry. But something else tugged at him: music. While others read the Bible late into the night, Ronnie picked up his guitar. He played quietly, writing songs that felt more real than any sermon. It was a secret life he kept hidden. Until the school found out, they gave him an ultimatum: choose music or ministry. He chose music, and they kicked him out. His family was heartbroken. His entire future seemed to fall apart. He had no clear plan, no big break, just a dream and a guitar. At the same time, in Shreveport, Louisiana, a kid named Leon Eric Brooks, who would later become Kix, was chasing music too. His neighborhood overflowed with sound. One of his neighbors was Johnny Horton, a country music legend. For Kix, making music wasn't rebellious, it was natural. He moved to Nashville in 1976 and quickly found success writing songs for others. He wrote #1 hits and became one of the most trusted songwriters in town. Ronnie, meanwhile, struggled. He recorded a few singles in the early 80s, but none of them made a splash. Ronnie, meanwhile, he'd as often detail. One peaked at number 59. It wasn't enough. He began to wonder if he had made a mistake leaving the church. But in 1989, something unexpected happened. A drummer friend entered Ronnie into a Marlboro-sponsored talent contest. Ronnie didn't even know about it, but he won. The prize was a recording session in Nashville. That single moment reignited hope. Producer Scott Hendricks heard Ronnie's voice and passed the tapes to Tim Du Bois at Arista, Nashville. Du Bois had a crazy idea. What if Ronnie teamed up with another talent? What if he introduced him to Kix Brooks? They had never met before. Their first meeting was awkward. But when they sat down to write a song, something magical happened. It wasn't polished, it wasn't perfect, but it worked. Their chemistry was instant. They made a demo, and it exploded. By June 1991, their first single, Brand New Man, hit the airwaves. Nobody saw what came next. 4 #1 hits from their debut album, Brand New Man, My Next Broken Heart, Neon Moon, and Boot Scootin' Boogie. It was history. Suddenly, line dancing swept the country. Their music crossed over from country to pop. Everyone wanted to learn the moves. They weren't just performers, they were a movement. Ronnie, the preacher's son, now had millions hanging on his every word. Kix, the natural showman, brought fire to the stage. Together, they were unstoppable. Their second album was another hit. In 1994, they won a Grammy. In 1996, they made history again by winning CMA's Entertainer of the Year, the first duo to ever do it. Song after song climbed the charts. Their anthem, Only in America, was used by both George Bush and Barack Obama in campaigns. They gave back too. Kix supported music education, raising millions. Ronnie held benefit concerts at his home for cancer centers and support groups. But after 20 years in 2009, they were done. Not because of a fight, but because of something quieter, burnout. Years of fame had drained them. Kix was ready to explore radio and film. Ronnie, though, felt like he had lost everything. Their farewell tour in 2010 was both a celebration and a slow goodbye. When it ended, Ronnie was left asking, "Who am I without Brooks and Dunn?" He tried to go solo. His first album in 2011 was strong, but radio didn't care. The DJs who once begged for Brooks and Dunn songs ignored his solo work. Ronnie felt invisible. Recording stopped being joyful. He doubted his voice. He doubted himself. He pulled away from the spotlight, spending more time at his farm. The quiet that once comforted him became a cage. His second solo album in 2014 didn't do much better. Critics praised it, but it didn't sell. Ronnie wondered if the world had moved on. By the end of that year, he hit rock bottom. The man who once filled stadiums now sat alone, questioning everything. Then, something changed. On his farm, Ronnie started writing again. Not for charts, not for labels, just for himself. It felt honest, real. That led to peace, love, and country music. It wasn't a hit, but it healed him. He also started his own label. Total control, no more industry pressure. At the same time, Kix was thriving in radio. He hosted American Country Countdown, telling stories and connecting fans with songs. He even acted in a few small films. In 2014, over dinner, the two friends talked. What if they performed again? Not a tour, just something fun. Reba McEntire invited them to join her at Caesar's Palace. The idea was simple: no buses, no stress, just great music. And it worked. Their Vegas residency in 2015 reminded Ronnie that he still had it. No giant speakers, just his voice, raw and powerful. That led to the reboot albums. New artists reimagined their classic songs. Luke Combs, Kane Brown, Megan Maroney, Jelly Roll, Morgan Wallen, they all paid tribute. Some songs were changed, some were left untouched. Each version proved their music still mattered. Then, in 2024, Brooks and Dunn won CMA's Vocal Duo of the Year. Again. It shocked everyone, but it made sense. After the split, the silence, the pain, and the doubt, they found their way back. Not just to each other, but to their purpose. For Ronnie Dunn, the journey was long, But at 71, he finally knows the answer. His voice still matters, his songs still heal, and the music lives on. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out another video now showing on your screen.